And Bronson Moreau is here to start season 2. And we're coming off of a preseason that went very well for Bronson Moreau. We tested out the coin flip for the difficulty to try to balance out the lack of sliders, and it worked out very well. 7 touchdowns for Bronson Moreau in preseason and only 1 turnover. Seahawks really try to help us out, but we'll help them out. Find the end zone. As it's up top, Lockett jumps. Get this one into Lockett. It's his second. Now 14-14. As we go DK, last receiver, he breaks to the outside. Is this gonna be one and done? Safety coming in, diving, misses. As we got Fant, he cuts. Gonna get him to the outside by another diving defender. Especially with all Madden, but when we got a throw like this, we will take it. Kenneth Walker needs some plays made downfield as he tried to squeeze it and get the knockaway. Really unfortunate, but can we find the play here? Then DK, finally, we've got him all the way to the end zone. So as we get going today, we'll be continuing on that coin flip mentality, and hopefully that'll help us get some all-around good gameplay. Because it's all Madden, a little broke, all pro, a little too easy. So as we begin today, the goal will be to get through the first 3 games. Depending on how much action we get in each of at least the first 2, will depend if we get into that third one. So we'll coin flip for all 3: Bears, Chiefs, Vikings. And for that first game against the Bears, we will flip and we will get tails. So that, if I'm going off of what we had last time, tails is all Madden, heads is all pro. We'll flip for the second one, which is the Chiefs game, and we will get tails. So all Madden to open up the first 2. For the final flip, we will have tails. It's going to be an all Madden kind of episode. So with those settings input, then it's time to get season 2 underway at home as we host the Bears. And our first drives begin at the 27. Now, it already went through a drive here with the Bears, so defense got us off to a pretty good start. Offense, let's hope to do the same, though it is a drop from Fant on the very first toss. Hopefully, we don't have too many of those drops happen in this one. And on top of that, we have a fully new starting group for the interior of this offensive line. Hopefully, they'll help pave a little bit of a way for Kenneth Walker this year, though his first rush, only a gain of 1. So definitely not a dominant start for us. 3rd and 9, we need to pick up a good play here. We got 2 to the left-hand side, Lockett to the right-hand side. Gonna flood everyone to that side of the field, though it's Moreau who's gonna rush and pick up the first down. Of all quarterbacks last year, he had the most amount of rushing yards, 2nd most in rushing touchdowns. Number 1 went to Hurts, a guy that you would imagine so with that tush push. And as for passing stats, Moreau was definitely rivaling the best in the league with Mahomes. He had the most amount of touchdown throws, that for certain. As we look downfield, we find DK. He's got the speed, and we have our first touchdown of the season. DK on the streak puts us on top. As we get to our following drive, yet again, defense picking up a stop for us. We will go with Kenneth Walker. Again, we want to try to get some rushing going. We saw last year in those all-pro games that the running game definitely helped out the offense. All Madden, you never quite know if we're going to have much of any of it. As it's a dump off that is very much jarred free, 3rd and 9. Honestly surprised Moreau didn't end up scrambling on that one. So as we look to pick up at least 9 here on 3rd down, come out with everyone to the one side, and ball pops free. It looked like he tried to cut. First turnover comes by way of fumble. And that time, the Bears would capitalize. Back to a tied game, 7-7 here. We got a little under 3 minutes left in the half. As we got Smith and Jigba placed up, he brings it down safely. 1st down. So far, at least the passing game has looked a little bit cleaner for Moreau. Fumble definitely doesn't help out, but he's taking some shots in this one as Walker still struggling to pick up anything more than a yard. Now, as mentioned, as we get inside the 2-minute warning, we do have a fully new interior for this offensive line, and hoping that they were going to be a little bit better for Walker. We have at least one good run blocker, as we do find Metcalf. We signed Ezra Cleveland. He's getting the start at left guard. He's a little bit more of a run blocker than pass blocker. Have a rookie over at right guard, a new center as well. So we've got a bunch of different options for the interior. Hopefully they develop. And if they develop in a similar way to the connection that Moreau and DK has had, then I think we might be pretty solid. Looking for end zone shots here. As Fant, he's got some space. We take the hit, lofted in, and he drops another. At least 2 of the 3 incomplete passes Moreau has been drops from Fant. We put him on a franchise tag in the offseason, and right now he's not living up for a new contract, as he finally holds on to that one. But honestly, maybe he doesn't want that new contract, and he's playing to get himself out. You never quite know. We go 2 spread either side, including Fant to the right-hand side. We'll look to him as he holds on to it, picking up that first down, and we'll call our first timeout there. 33 seconds left before halftime. We're down inside the red zone at the 17, bringing everyone in tight here. One high safety over the top, corner shading the outside. As we'll look to step up, ball pops free. That is unfortunate. And I'll credit that one to the O-line. Obviously, Moreau's got to hold on to those, but at the same time, we should have more than about 2 seconds in the pocket. We jump forward to post-halftime, still 7-7. Got to be able to break a tie here. That was a big block from Cleveland. But unfortunately, Moreau misses the throw. I think that is his first bad pass of the game. He's had some that haven't been perfect, but they've been catchable for sure. As they bring the pressure here, that threw off the throw, threw off my speech as well. It'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Once again behind the chains here. As we've got 2 receivers stacked to the right-hand side. DK, he gets a cut to the outside. That one placed on well. Going to be about a gain of 20-25 as it gets us up to about midfield. We'll go a little bit of hurry up. Maybe this will help us break down this Bears defense. Keep them also maybe out of our own backfield would definitely help. Drag, floated, caught. First down, Smith and Jigba. All right, now Moreau, he's taken some hits almost every play yet again. Very similar to last year. Just got to keep our quarterback clean as we step up in the pocket. We got Lockett downfield. Caught, down to the 15. Now can we find something a little crazy here? Do we stick with it? Going with the quarterback draw. If we could pick up some blocks. Here comes Edmonds. Yeah, he read that very well. It's a loss of 3. Sometimes you just got to try to pull out that random play call here week 1. Catch someone sleeping. Unfortunately, the only one sleeping was the blocking. As once again, trying to step up in the pocket. At some point, Moreau's just got to go with it. He ends up picking up 1, but could have been a lot more if he just straight up ran for it rather than trying to buy some time to get his receivers open. As he will do the same here. Coming across, up for DK. Toe taps. He takes the hit and holds on to it. Good placement, though, from Moreau. Only where DK could have got it. And maybe now, with this opportunity, we'll be able to extend our lead. 14-7, we look for Walker, who can bounce it to the outside. He's got space. That'll finally be a gain more than 1 yard. He's at 6 carries, 15, which is obviously why we have not been rushing the ball all too much. Pass rush, getting back there. Moreau can't fully leak out. He had the entire left side of the field. Picks up the first at least. A DJ Reader right down the middle. He's been a problem for us, to say the least. Got some shorter throws here. Once again, having to move around the pocket and diving. I have a feeling he was looking for DK on that one. Ends up being a loss of a yard because of that dive. Setting us up with 2nd and 11 as we're under 2 minutes left here in the 3rd. DK had a good step, but once again, pressure on us. Once again, we're sitting with a 3rd and 11. We've had a good amount of these. A lot of them have been 3rd and 9, 10, or the 11. As we try to keep this one short, that is the read that Moreau has always struggled with. At least he gets down there to help get the tackle. The safety is going to crash. We got to stop throwing it. For the 2nd time, Bears would capitalize off of our turnover. It's the only time they've scored. But as we move forward, our defense is also forced a turnover. We start at the 28. Perfect opportunity here to milk some clock, at least find a field goal, and win this game late. So with that, We need the best here from Moreau in this offense. Catch the passes, block up front first and foremost, and get open. As once again, Moreau having to evade some pass rush. He will pick up about 6, but there is a penalty down. It's going to be bringing it back. The rookie guard in Hull called with that holding. So 2nd and 17. Hard count, no one jumps. Look to set up the screen here. Get a couple blocks out in front for Walker. Stay in bounds or nearly pick up the first. I guess I'll settle for that. He actually ends up making it about what the scramble from Moreau would have been. So 3rd and 2, we take a little bit of some extra time off the clock. Got a bunch to the left-hand side. Lockett sitting underneath, gets the catch. First down, we can keep this clock moving. And of course, we don't have to be the only one doing things here. Gonna go with a weak side run. See if we can find a little bit of some space. Double to backer. Cleveland gets there a little late, but it's a gain of 2. We've seen far worse from this rushing game. Negative yards or just gains of 1. 2nd and 8. We'll snap it, hand it off down the middle. Walker trying to find some space. He'll pick up about 5, though now a timeout as Leonard Williams is injured. As he goes down just outside the 2-minute warning, it's a free stoppage of time, so they still have 3 timeouts. 3rd and 4. Need to at least end the drive here or look for the end zone. Row down to the 1. He came close. So we'll let the 2-minute warning hit. And with that, we just need about the tip of the football for the end zone. We're going to have Fant motion over setting up the trap dive here. As blocking does not go well, Reeder blows it up entirely. So in that case, we'll back up a little bit then. Now taking this one from the 3. We've got a couple different options. New fullback as well joins the group. We swing it out to him. He's got to get moving, and it's just back to the line. Obviously, throw could have been a little bit better there, but 3rd and goal. Hard count, no one moves. We got some slants dialed up. Coming across, diving. It's a touchdown for Tyler Lockett. We take the lead. 1:14 left. Now, can the defense get the stop? They start back at the 20. They pick up 1. Then it's a throwaway. 3rd and 9. It's a big play that apparently we're skipping. Under 30 seconds or about 30 seconds following the throwaway. 3rd and 2, incomplete. 4th and game. And the defense would get the stop. But with that, Moreau and the offense will head on out, take the final knee, and it's a win here in week 1. And it's a well-earned one at that. We had to overcome some of our own issues. We had several turnovers in this one. Luckily, we answered each one with some touchdowns. Defense came through, got that stop at the end. Now we just need to head into week 2 and correct the mistakes we had. And not only is that second game the first away game of the year, but it's also against the Patrick Mahomes Kansas City Chiefs. So we've got a big one in store for us here, and we're going to start right down the middle. Smith and Jigba with a gain of 30, 34. Only thing that could have been better there was a one-play touchdown. We'll change it up the following play here. We're going to go with a handoff, try to get Walker established, or at least see if we could get him established pretty early on. And honestly, the gain of 3 is a pretty good amount considering what we've seen. 2nd and 7. Just need an easy play down the middle, or Moreau will scramble diving for it. He picks up the first down. We're going to go hurry up off of it. Going to stick with that same look. Got Metcalf to the left-hand side. He's coming off a really good game. They walk the safety down to the right-hand side. We'll shift the line that way. Just make sure we've got some coverage downfield as it opened up. But Jimenez closes the door. It looked like Moreau was about to get a big gain. Still waiting on that big run. 2nd and 14. They bring the blitz. We'll throw out late, and it hits the turf. Had a couple different options where it was in the vicinity at least. It looked like DK and probably Tyler Lockett. 3rd and 4, got a bunch. As again, the roll ball pops free, and I think we get on top of it with Lucas indeed. So it will at least be a field goal attempt. Definitely not as clean as the first play. But 3-0, that works, especially as we get the ball back, an opportunity yet again to try to grow a lead if we can manage it. We'll get this one out to Walker. He turns up. That's a first down at the minimum. It looks like a gain of about 12. I'm sure he'll be happy as long as he at least gets X amount of touches. He'd probably look for at least 15 touches in a game, whether it's traditional running or catching the ball, as Jones down the middle has been a problem. 2nd and 13, the interior of the line not holding up. Might have to try to roll a little bit more to the outside if we even have the time. We are 2 drives into this game, and already he has 2.5 sacks. 3rd and 21. As we have our target floated in beautifully. Smith-Njigba holds on to it. Who cares, I guess, if it's 3rd and 21. Moreau will find his target. We're definitely going with a lot of deep passes, considering we haven't really had the time to throw most of these. And when we had an open target, we missed the throw. At least Moreau hit the 3rd and long. So 2nd and 10. Let's try to pick up a little something here down the middle. Hand it off Walker, and it's the linebacker who stuffs it. Against Mahomes, I really don't want to have to rely on field goals, although we are in range. Going to change up the play here, send Metcalf to the right-hand side. Got a little bit more space that way if we need it. Back across. This time we find Fant. 1st down. He breaks a tackle and picks up an extra 2 or 3 off of it. And off of it, we'll go with the hurry-up. We're going to have Metcalf going towards that back pylon. Walker, he's going to wheel out. Or we'll take the space down the middle, sliding down underneath the hurdling defender in Reed. Once again, hurry-up offense following it. Trying to set up the halfback screen to Walker. Jones read it, but didn't stick with it. We pick up the block, and we're in the end zone. We finally build upon that lead, make it 10-0. It was a little bit of a rocky start, but a good build. Now the Chiefs answer with a field goal as we are back out. Need to make sure we tack on at least that matching field goal. And so far, it seems like that's going to have to come through the pass. Running has not opened up much of anything. Also need to make sure we're running the ball with Moreau sliding down safely again in front of the incoming safety. If that's the only running game we could get, then we will, especially with having to scramble out of pockets because of Jones. We throw this one a little bit behind Fant. He brings it in. It's a gain of 8 as now Givens is shaken up. Always hate to think this way when it comes to injuries, but potentially that could open up a little bit more rushing for Walker. We'll go to it here, 2nd and 2. Going with a weak side rush. He outruns the fullback. Maybe could have helped him spring that for a bigger gain. But for now, 1st down works. At the 46, just shy of midfield. Bunch to the right-hand side, Fant to the left. They got the single high safety. Probably should have checked down Smith-Njigba, but just too worried about the line. I think this is where Moreau has to learn that clearly these developing plays, they're not going to be as apparent here for us. As once again, we have to get this one out. We find Walker. He slips a tackle, and we turn at what's probably going to be a loss of another 10 into a gain of 10. You could always come up with a game plan, but at the end of the day, you got to match what's happening out on the field. 3rd and 6, we got to match it with a 1st down. We get the stop route held onto. It's been a much better second game here from Fant. He's making the plays. He's not dropping things. Considering the interior of the offensive line is, then we need some other guys to make up for it. We flip the formation here. Rolling. Yet again, we might look to scramble here. Get a little bit of a stiff arm that might maybe bought us an extra yard. But we also need to make sure Moreau isn't taking that many hits. That's where the fumbles will start again whenever we do take another. Stepping up again in the pocket. Going to pick up the 1st down and getting down safely. 5 rushes, 45 yards for Moreau. On top of that, also done pretty well passing the ball when given that time. 1st and 10 will go back to Walker. He's got space to the outside if he wanted to bounce it. Instead, Bolton with a quick stop. Well, that will take us inside the 2-minute warning. A chance to catch our breath here as we look to widen our lead. Looking for some corner shots here as we got a block down underneath here with Fant, who kind of ends up slowing us down. We'll pick up 7 and get out of bounds. With a 3rd and 3 then. Gonna spread. We got 2 to the right-hand side. Metcalf to the left, though, going to try to set up the screen to Walker. We pick up some blocks. Blocker out in front for Walker. We got a 1st down to the 11. And still with 3 timeouts in our back pocket, we tick under a minute and a half left here this half. Got a couple different level concepts happening here. As once again, Moreau will take some contact. He holds on to it. We're down to the 6th then. Definitely stingy in the run. That's what we like to see. Got one-on-one with Metcalf to the outside. Safety comes over for help over the top. And trying to get out, we have the late release to Fant. We'll call a timeout here, catch our breath with 3rd and 11. Well, obviously we want the end zone. We don't have to have it here. There's about a yard of space prior to the goal line for a first down. As we look for a good stop route, nothing really there. Moreau looks for the end zone. He lowered the shoulder, but he's denied the goal line. We'll call that second timeout. So from about the inch line, 2 receivers to the left, 2 tight ends on the right-hand side. We're sitting back in shotgun. As we roll, let's try to pick up a block from Walker, and we will finish the job off ourselves, making a 2-score lead as we get through half. And speaking of getting through the half, well, we're almost through the 3rd quarter. We didn't really do much our first possession here of this half, but neither have the Chiefs, and the running game is not working. Walker is barely over a yard per carry, but we still have ourselves sitting with a 2-touchdown lead. So that is pretty good within itself. As we look for the rookie, it's lofted. He brings it in. What a first play to see here for Lane. We talked about the lack of help really brought in the offseason for Moreau. There is a rookie starting guard, and we have a rookie receiver who's going to see some playing time, obviously, as we saw there. Moreau scrambles down the middle to pick up 4. And I think the big problem that Moreau had was the lack of established talent, or honestly even high-end talent. We found most of our big talent in the draft for the defense. Though, of course, it is that defense that has us up here 17-3. Obviously, we've gotten some points, but so far basically shutting out the Chiefs. That's a pretty big haul here for our defense. As we find Fant, who gets us down to the 30. And with the 14-point lead, we head into the 4th. Set to extend it as we're in field goal range. RPO here. We will swing it out. Try to get a little something. Quick, easy. It's going to work a lot better than the rushing has. Gain of 8 for DK. Right now, Moreau about 9 yards shy of 200 passing, and I want to say about 14 shy of 100 rushing. As we swing this one, now that is Walker. Going to pick up about a gain of 3 or 4. I'll say the offense has done a great job of transitioning from the earlier, more developing plays to trying to find a few more hitting plays. And then, of course, with the stamina draining for the defensive line, we've been able to start to get some of those bigger plays. And it all kind of comes down to putting this game away as we are down to the 12. 2nd and 3, we go Walker. Not a great double backer, but he shakes the first attempt, and he's got his goal to go at the 5. You know, technically the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's kind of what we've done with the rushing game, but I feel like it slowly ate away, and great blocking from the receivers gets Moreau back in the end zone. A 3-touchdown lead at Kansas City. Well, that would ultimately end up being the final nail in the coffin. It's 24-10. Kansas City got a garbage time touchdown, but a big start, and I think there was one fumble of which we recovered. So if I'm not mistaken, a turnover-free game for Bronson Moreau. Now can we go for the trifecta? We are jumping obviously in here to the game in Minneapolis, taking on the Vikings at midfield. Can we look for a big play 1 here? Well, we got DK. We threw behind him. Could have had a better adjustment, but ultimately better placement wouldn't require the adjustment. So 2nd and 10, definitely not a big play to get us going. As we roll, we got a receiver coming across. This time we find him diving out for it, Smith and Jigba. No, Lockett actually. Thought I read 11. Guess not. 1st and 10 though at the 31. We go 2 to the left, 1 over to the right-hand side is Lockett. Going with the slants. Go with the crossing, all the way lofted up, and Lockett brings it in again. And I feel like he's probably the most sure-handed receiver we've got. Now, weak side stretch here, 1st and 10. We get some space for Walker, who's going to pick up a gain of 7. Considering how hard it is to typically get him a gain of 2, that's a really good run. We got levels concepts here, all going to the right-hand side. Though it is Harrison Phillips ruining the possible scramble attempt. So 3rd and 4 it'll be instead. Bunch to the right-hand side for Moreau. We got Smith and Jigba. I would just like to shorten that route a little bit. Open him up towards that back pylon. As we've got him, lofted out. Though we don't get the feet down in the end zone. That is a big miss. And as we move to our next possession, we don't have any points on the board. I checked the stats. There wasn't a blocked field goal, a missed field goal. There wasn't a pass attempt by a backup quarterback. I don't know what happened, but somehow we didn't get any points. Ultimately, when it would come to the lead, wouldn't matter as the Vikings drove down the field and got a touchdown, so we would still be down, but we wouldn't be down a touchdown. As Moreau will roll, he's got DK coming across. He finds him just in front of the incoming defender, and there we go. The points we didn't get last drive, we get this time. DK with the big one. Levels the game. And ultimately, that's a great reason why you keep your eyes downfield. As we start this drive, we go RPO. DK will take it. 5-yard gain, get us out the own shadow of our own goal line here. Or at least that's the attempt. 2nd and 5. We go 2 to the left, 1 to the right-hand side. Hard count, no one moves. Trying to set up the screen. We roll. We got a receiver again, lofted up. This time definitely is Smith-Njigba, with probably a bigger gain than we would have got with our own legs. Again, stick with that same line of thought. Why you keep your eyes downfield. Double A gap, though, they back out of it. We'll end up rolling to the right-hand side, and this time Moreau will rush, pick up about 9.5. Not certain if last game if he did get over that 100 rushing or 200 passing. Either way, he was very close. A dual threat quarterback here for us as DK's got a step. More than a step. He's got about 5 yards of space, getting us down to the red zone. I don't know if the offensive line finally clicking or whatnot. We are playing all Madden, and right now, Moreau is having a field day out here. He's got his target not on the same page. You try to keep him on the outside. Should have went inside. But of course, when I say things going smoothly, they're not going to. 2nd and 10. We go back to the running game here. Walker with a little bit of space. He picks up 3. But we've been stopped down in our own red zone one time before. Would hate for that to happen again. Single high safety is Hitman. As again, stuck in the pocket. It should be a field goal attempt here, though. I can't promise you anything. Now, would you look at that? We did get the field goal. Unfortunately, so do the Vikings. Now we find ourselves about midway through the 3rd quarter as we are still tied 10-10. Need to make some plays happen as Moreau has some pass rush coming in. He can't get by the line of scrimmage. So we'll get back to it quickly. It's 2nd and 11. Staying with that same look. Try to get DK to the outside. We find him. 1st down up to the 23. We've definitely had our fair share of long drives in today's episode. We'll like to get a couple big plays on those. As Walker down the middle, stuffed, he had more room to the outside. And honestly, the blocking as well as just the AI deciding where to run, not all great here with all Madden, but we know the weaknesses we have here with this difficulty. Try to keep locking inbounds, throw too far behind. So 3rd and 9, another chance to try to extend the drive. Moreau doesn't like what he sees, so he's going to flip the formation here. Double A gap look from the Vikings. Hard count, no one jumps. They only send the 4, but that 4 works. We go with the underneath, and we find Smith-Njigba. 1st down, a flag is down. Might be late hit on Daniil, and indeed it is. I believe that is the first intentional roughness call we've gotten while playing on all Madden. That is great to see. Only really seen those much when it's been an all-pro as Moreau jukes back inside and maybe lost a yard or so. He also takes a pretty decent shot in the process. So 2nd and 1, let's give him a little bit of a breather. Just have him hand off the ball. Walker down the middle goes nowhere, and Noah Fant shaken up as well. The only thing that could have been worse on that is a turnover. 3rd and 1 then, bunch to the right-hand side. As Moreau has got an easy option right down the middle. We find Smith-Njigba. You've got to go downfield. You literally ran backwards, and it's 4th and 1. We've got to do it all over again. All right. Gotta love it here. As we will just scramble out ourselves. We've got some blockers. Going to be a nice gain for Moreau, who scampers down to the 24 and gets out of bounds. Don't have to worry about the AI doing weird things when you just do it yourself. As we're under 3 minutes left here in the 3rd. Hard count. Still trying to get someone to jump with those. Disley coming across. The ball is overthrown. And it goes straight to 25 in Bright. Turnovers. Still a little bit of a problem here for Moreau, but it's at least been cleaner. Knock on wood that it remains that way. as we're still looking to take a lead here. We go to the outside. We find, I believe, the other rookie we have here on offense, a tight end. Couldn't tell you what his name is. I remember seeing it last episode, but that was the last time I remember seeing it. DK gets the step immediately. This time we find him, and he can stretch those legs, putting us in front. Another DK straight downfield touchdown lead. And it would appear the Vikings would go for it on a 4th down or something, because we're getting the ball down at the 7. They were driving. Defense gets the stop, and we have a chance to try to put this game away. Complained last episode about the lack of help added to the offense, but defense, it's helped today, that is for sure. As Walker 2 straight rushes, he's got plenty of space, finally bounces to the outside, picking up that 1st down. And if we could at least establish some running game in the 4th quarters, help put these games away, take a little bit of that pressure off of Moreau, all the better. As we look for our new fullback here, Carter, will end up picking up 4. We tried to get him that touchdown. I believe it was in the Chiefs game. Obviously, that opportunity didn't work out all too well for him. That one probably his better play as they send the blitz. Well timed. Any second later, we probably would have found our drag there. Would have been a 1st down instead, 3rd and 6. Hard count. They don't bring the blitz this time. We got a receiver coming across. Good placement. Smith and Jigba 1st down. Keep this clock moving. Unfortunately, we just wouldn't be able to get very many good runs after. So a 3rd and 11 right before the 2-minute warning. Got a bunch to the right-hand side. Need a 1st down to keep this drive moving. As we throw, Smith and Jigba does manage that 1st down. Barely threading that one into a very tight window. Lucky the linebacker didn't have his head on a swivel. And we can look to continue running some clock as timeouts are starting to be called. Minnesota just 2 remaining as we are just under 2 minutes left before a perfect start to the season. Walker 1st down and a good little bit more. A gain of about 15 or so on that one. Again, if we could get this running game late, that's better than never. One last timeout for the Vikings. As we go down the middle, picking up 3, they are now out of timeouts. 1st down seals it. As they have a pretty spread even look here, we're going to go with a rush to the left-hand side, change up a little bit. Walker will pick up 2. So with the chance of putting the game away here, 3rd and 5, we have an RPO dialed up. And Daniil Hunter was sitting on the outside. We will hand this one off. 4th and 7, let the clock roll. Field goal range should put this one away. And it will end up being that perfect start here for Bronson Moreau and the Seahawks. 3-0 to start season 2. There's been some hiccups along the way, but some really good play and better overall play than his rookie year. And overall, sitting at a really good spot, especially when it comes to the completion percentage. That is much higher than what we had last year, plus as well in the preseason, though the touchdown to turnovers are a little bit lower than the preseason. Still a really good start for Moreau against real solid talent now, not preseason talent. He's also got a little bit done on the ground as well. I think he's only lost maybe 2 of these fumbles. The other ones recovered by our own team. Not a big problem. Obviously, we need to make sure we're not fumbling. Got a little bit of Walker going. I would prefer that average, though, around 4. So if we could get that any better, all the better. But Moreau already sitting at close to 1,000 yards on the season. And when it comes to in total in the NFL, he is 3rd in passing yards. Touchdown-wise, he's a little bit down the board, but plenty of room to go. And then more importantly, he is not the most picked-off quarterback by a good bit. Ryan Hale, 7. Richardson, who was pretty close with him last year at 6. So we're looking pretty good when it comes to completion percentage of quarterbacks who have actually thrown a decent amount. He's in a mix of a good amount of players, so that is great to see. And considering the fact that we were given the harshest flips of this episode, every single coin flip going in the way of all Madden, Bronson Moreau did very, very well. And we are off to a 3-0 start. So make sure you don't miss out how the rest of this season goes and the rest of the story of Bronson Moreau. Hit that barricon in the bottom right or scroll down, hit the sub button, and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. This series every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Plus, we also have the state-only challenge, Marylavania, in their final year. Season 5, they've got to win that Super Bowl. And they started off this season with a dominant win. That one continues on tomorrow. That series every Tuesday and Thursday. So we got a lot headed your way as Bronson Moreau is looking very sharp to start his sophomore campaign.